You're listening to the Crew Book Club podcast, the show that challenges you to change your mindset through hearing about dope books. Thanks for hanging with the crew to get advice, ask questions, and gain knowledge with me, your host, Sade Hill. What up, crew? What's good? It's your girl, Sade, and welcome to another episode of the Crew Book Club podcast. I'm ready. You ready? She ready? Whenever I say she ready, I be thinking of Tiffany Haddish, y'all. Like, she is so freaking dope. If you ever want to see any of her interviews, they're so good, so inspiring, so funny. I absolutely love her. She did David Letterman, the Netflix special with her, and his interview was so good. And she recently did Drink Champs with Nori, and absolutely love the episode. And you can find them anywhere you get podcasts as well. Absolutely love their show. And I'm happy to have more females on there. And Tiffany Haddish, she's just so funny. I absolutely love her and her story, and hear her talk about her story, her truth. Because I feel like she one of the few people who keep it 100% transparent, authentic. It's like she embraces her story. She don't have no shame. It's just like amazing watching her, and it's truly inspiring. So definitely check out listening to her. But anywho, let's hop into this episode. What up, crew? What's good? Okay? What is good? How are y'all feeling? You feeling good? Feeling great? Hey, feeling good? Feeling great? How are you? Feeling myself. I'm feeling myself. I'm feeling my... I'm feeling good today, as you can tell. I associate music with all things. Whether I'm feeling like sad, I'm listening to stuff that's gonna hype me up. When I'm feeling good, I just find words to just in songs that inspire me to sing for no darn reason, child. But anyway, if you're not feeling good, that is okay. All right, you're doing the right thing. You're listening to stuff like the Crew Book Club podcast. You may need to pick up a book that's going to inspire you, or watch an interview. Like, find something that's going to hype you up, get you right and ready to go, and pivot your mindset to go on to move forward. It's all right to feel our feels, but what we don't want to do is sit in it. Okay. All right. This week's episode, we will be getting to chapter 12, the law of least effort. Ooh, it's going to make you rethink how we think of being lazy. In chapter 13, how to stop procrastinating by using the 2-minute rule. You know, I'm real big on the 10-minute rule, but the 2-minute rule, I tried it today and I like it. We're going to talk about that. And then we're going to talk about chapter 14, how to make good habits inevitable and bad habits impossible. All right. So before we even get into that, we got to get into the first segment of the show. Who gonna check me, boo? God is, and he is always checking us, because we need a good check to keep us in check with him and his word. Okay. And I literally changed this right before I got on the mic, okay? Because I'm listening to this message for the second time on the pod, and my intention is to sit in front of the TV, watch it live, take notes, and really like deep dive into this. So I won't be cuffed to my constant, and so I can use rest as my weapon. Whew. Pastor Michael Tide preach this message from Transformation Church, and literally in the show notes of the podcast it said, go, hustle, push, work. That's what this world teaches us. You can't rest until you've put in the time. But what if that's not kingdom culture? I was like, oh my, okay. So I'm listening to it, and then this quote sticks out. If you actually rested, you won't be weary. Because I am dealing with being tired all the time. Like, I'm not really getting a proper sleep. Even though I'm going to bed 9:30, no later than 10, I just feel I'm not resting properly. And it comes from this space of weary and having to be constant, because my mind is constantly going, right? And the scripture was Matthew 11:28, and it says, "Come unto me, all who are weary and carry heavy burden, and I will give you rest." And And he talked about like this constant need to go, get it, rise and grind. When it's just like, is that what God told me to do? Have I sat long enough to really allow God to tell me my next move? Or I'm just assuming because I'm doing it and relate to my purpose? Or am I losing the opportunity to really connect with him to tell me exactly the task I should be doing instead of doing a whole bunch of tasks that the world says I should do to succeed, instead of just listening to what he needs me to do, and then I can get all things according to his will. I'm feeling that all over again. Like, the things with the podcast, like I'm doing the reels and I was posting, I'm being consistent on social, but then there's also these bigger ideas that are in my mind. And that's why last week I said I got to take a break and give y'all a little bit of it, of content, not as much and as consistent as before, so I can have these bigger platforms and live shows and events to be able to give y'all so we can really grow. And listening to this message just confirm all of that. And it's just a really good message about it, to be operating in the kingdom culture and not what the world should tell us. Because the world would be like, oh, you need to be doing this, that, and the other. You need to be making this many calls to get these kind of results. You need to be showing up to work early, be the last one. First one there, last one gone, to show your commitment. But it's just like, yeah, I might be the first one there and the last one gone, but am I actually using my time wisely? Am I actually doing what God want me to do? Because if I'm doing what God want me to do, he might only need me to do something for 1 hour that he needs me to do that could put me in the success that I need to be, right? Without having to do what the world says do. Rise and grind. No? God may be like, you need to rise and pray. You get what I'm saying? So yeah, that completely checked me in that moment. I'm going to put the full sermon in the show notes so you can listen to it and grab what you need to grab from it. And so he can check you, boo-boo. All right, so that was the Who Gon' Check Me, Boo. God is. He is always checking us. Now, y'all just showed me some crew love. I ain't going to say y'all. I'm going to say shout out to KM0816 for the crew love. She went on Apple Podcasts review and she wrote an amazing, beautiful review. And I absolutely love that she took the time out to do this. It says, title, great podcast. I love listening to Sade and her views on the books and even life. Let me tell y'all, she even put the the hyphen by my E. It says, I feel like we're just sitting down, having a cup of coffee and talking like old friends. She keeps it so real and relatable. Thank you for continuing to post Sade in the Crew Book Club. Always coming out with encouragement and nuggets of truth. Thank you. This made my heart smile. I am so appreciative of this. And the thing is, like, she keeps it so real, relatable, encouragement, nuggets of truth. That's exactly what I wanted this podcast to be. So this makes me feel so good because it's portraying what I wanted to portray by being behind the mic. So yes, I am definitely operating in my purpose, and I definitely trust that God gives me the ability to do this. Even when I'm tired, he always gives me the just enough amount of energy to record this podcast every week. He always making a way for this to happen. So thank you, KM0816, for leaving this podcast review. Thank you so much. Now, we're getting into Atomic Habits, and we're going to hop into that. Just know you can listen to Atomic Habits on Audible. And if you're like, girl, I ain't got time to be paying for Audible to listen to a book. Listen. Audible offers way more than just books. They offer wellness programs. They offer podcasting. They offer theatrical performances. They offer comedy. Like, there's so much on Audible that I think people are missing out on. So you can get a free 30-day experience with Audible through the Crew Book Club if you just go to Audible and /crewlove. Crewlove is the promo code. That's CREWLOVE. Go to audible.com/crewlove. All right. I'll have that link in the show notes as well. But driving and listening to the book is really good for you to continue to get your daily listen and information. But also ordering the book that link will be in the show notes too, so you can highlight and refer back and all of those things. So you have no excuse not to either listen to the book or read the book. Okay. All right. Now let's get into chapter 12, the law of least effort. And this really made me think the word lazy. All right. It says, the truth is, our real motivation is to be lazy and do what is convenient. And despite what the latest productivity bestseller will tell you, this is a smart strategy, not a dumb one. All right? Energy is precious. Human nature to follow the law of least effort. People will naturally gravitate toward the option that requires the least amount of work. We are motivated to do what is easy. And that's okay. But I think it takes work to get to the easy, right? This is why it's crucial to make your habits so easy that you'll do them even when you don't feel like it. Yes, so good. If you can make your good habits more convenient, you'll be more likely to follow through on them. So it's our natural behavior to want to do easy things. That's why we have grocery pickup. We can do things online. Things come to our door. But I always say it's not the wanting to be lazy and easy. It's the intent behind it. You get what I'm saying? It's all about the intention. It's all about how you use your laziness. Okay? All right. Because I ain't talking about getting on the couch lazy. I'm talking about how do we make something attractive? How do you make the new habit attractive? All right? And it says here on page 153, how to achieve more with less effort. Let me tell y'all, my two favorite words is making it effective and efficient. I don't want to work hard. I want to work smart. Okay? All about working smart. And sometimes that takes a little planning, but I would rather utilize my time wisely by taking the time to plan and make it more effective and efficient than to be overworking myself and driving myself crazy and being weary. Okay? It says here, rather than trying to overcome the friction in your life, you reduce it. One of the most effective ways to reduce the friction associated with your habits is to practice environment design. We talked about a little bit about that in another chapter. But here's how we're going to talk about it in this one. Habits are easier to build when they fit into the flow of your life. Before we talked about the placement of where you work and eat and things like that. This time it's talking about the flow of your life. For instance, you are more likely to go to the gym if it's on your way to work because stopping doesn't add more friction to your lifestyle. I was just talking to somebody about gyms. Sometimes people have this prestigious things about gyms. Oh, I need to go to this gym because it's nicer. I go to Planet Fitness. And I'm going to tell you why. And Planet Fitness is a hit or miss which one you go to. But that's not about me. I'm not finna come up with an excuse or whatnot. But I feel like Planet Fitness is like McDonald's. It's about real estate. Where it's located. I don't care when I'm traveling or going out of town. I know there'll be a Planet Fitness. I'm not always guaranteed there'll be a Crunch gym, even though it might be nicer and cleaner from what I hear. But I'm more about what is going to work best for me. And Planet Fitness worked best for me. It is what it is. Until I'm rich enough to have my own private person or I'm staying in the most fanciest hotel that always provide this nice gym, then it is what it is. Okay? So that's how I feel like when we're talking about the environment design is making it easier for us. It says too often we try to start habits in high friction environments. We try to follow a strict diet while we're out with dinner with friends. We try to write a book in a chaotic household. We try to concentrate while using a smartphone filled with distractions. It doesn't have to be this way. We can remove points of friction that holds us back. Oh, I talked about this morning with an agent. My Bible app was on my phone, but I realized I would totally get distracted and want to look at other things in my Bible app. So you know what I did? I got a physical Bible, devotional journal right by the bed. So the first thing I'm picking up and looking at are these things that's going to hold me accountable, right? I made it easy. So this where you have to think about on page 154, strategy as addition by subtraction. When we remove the points of friction that sap our time and energy, we can achieve more with less effort. If you look at the most habit-forming products, like I said, meal delivery services reduces the friction of shopping for groceries. I hate grocery shopping. I hate going in a grocery store. In actuality, it actually helps me save money because I'm not roaming around a store with all these strategically placed items to make me want to buy stuff that I really don't need. Dating apps reduce the friction of making social introductions. Ride-sharing services reduce the friction of getting across town. Text messaging reduces the friction of sending a letter in the mail. So when we're talking about environment in this case, we're setting up things to make those habits easier. It's not about being lazy. It's just about making it easier to do, right? So the central idea is to create an environment where doing the right thing is easy as possible. I really like how he touches on that, okay? So how do we do that? There we go. Prime your environment. Okay, and we're going to talk a little bit more about that in the show because hint, that's part of your challenge of the week. So we'll dive into that. I'll read a little bit more about that. All right, so let's get into chapter 13, how to stop procrastinating by using the 2-minute rule. We kind of talked about procrastinating last episode about not using it as a crutch to actually put things into action because we can plan, and then it turns into this procrastination where we're not actually doing the work. This time, we're talking about procrastinating in the way that on page 160, it says, the habits you follow without thinking often determines the choices you make when you are thinking. Let me read that again. The habits you follow without thinking often determines the choices you make when you are thinking. Okay? Every day, there is a handful of moments that deliver an outsized impact. I refer of these choices as decisive moments. The moment you decide between ordering takeout or cooking dinner. So when I think about that in procrastination, I'm like, did I procrastinate in planning? Did I properly go grocery shopping? Did I properly have the things in place of what I want to eat so I can cook dinner instead of ordering takeout? Okay. It also says these choices are a fork in the road. It's funny. You get it, fork in the road, talking about takeout cooking. All right, whatever. Decisive moments set the option available to your future self. Okay? The difference between a good day and a bad day is often a few productive, healthy choices made at decisive moments. Each one is like a fork in the road. And these choices stack up throughout the day and can ultimately lead to a very different outcome. Ooh, so good. So good. And this is where we get into the 2-minute rule. When you dream about making a change, excitement is inevitable, takes over, and you end up trying to do too much too soon. Oh, I'm so excited. I want to use 100. I want to lose. I'm about to say lose 100 pounds. Let's be realistic. Oh, I want to lose 25 pounds by da-da-da-da. So I'm going to go to the gym every day. You weren't going to the gym every day last week. What make you think you're going to go to the gym every day this week? Stop playing with yourself. Or even if you do, you might do that for maybe even 2 weeks, but you're going to burn yourself out. All right. So let's do this. The most effective way I know to counteract this tendency is to use the 2-minute rule. When you start a new habit, it should take less than 2 minutes to do. I practice the 10-minute rule where set the timer 10 minutes, do it for 10 minutes. If you still want to keep going, keep going. If not, stop. Here, I did it today with the 2-minute rule with folding clothes. I got a whole bunch of clothes. And even though we're going to have a housekeeper coming in, it still bring me anxiety. So I was like, okay, I'm going to do this for 2 minutes and then I'm going to stop. Y'all, it actually helped with my anxiety because I felt like I did something instead of nothing at all. And I was able to fold 6 towels in 2 minutes and put them away. High five to myself. But listen, just try it. So read before bed each night. Maybe set the time for 2 minutes. And if all you finish is 2 minutes and you go to sleep, you did it. Okay? Do 30-minute yoga. It takes 2 minutes to pull out your mat. And if that's all you do, you did it. Okay. The idea is to make your habits as easy as possible to start. Okay. Anyone can meditate for a minute. This is a power strategy because once you've started doing the right thing, it's much easier to continue doing it. Y'all like, come on, if you really took out your mat, more than likely you're going to be like, nah, if I don't do something, you're going to do it. But it's more so about starting and being consistent that you did it instead of not doing it. All right. Set yourself up. It should, a new habit should not feel like a challenge. And when I read that, I was like, should there be a challenge of the week? But I was like, no, there can be challenges of the week because you want to get challenged. And I feel like you feel accomplished getting challenged. But when it's actually like a brand new habit, like working out, like challenge yourself just to do the 2 minutes. Okay. All right. It says the point is to master the habit of showing up. That is the point. Earlier this week, y'all, I did not want to go to the gym. I did not. And I woke up and my body was like, I'm tired, but it would not let me go back to sleep. And you know what I did? I picked up my phone and I looked at social media. I was like, no, I thought I kicked this habit. And I was like, you know what? The fact that I was able to do that, let me put these gym clothes on and just hit the gym. Tired when I was walking in the door, but I did a full-blown workout and I came back and I was happy I did it. I was just happy I did it. I'm happy I completed the workout. You know what I'm saying? So it says, as you master the art of showing up, the first 2 minutes simply become a ritual at the beginning of a larger routine. This is not merely a hack to make habits easier, but actually the ideal way to master a difficult skill. The more you ritualize the beginning of the process, the more likely it becomes that you can slip into the state of a deep focus that is required to do great things. And y'all, are we not in the business of doing great things? And great things start off small, and that is okay. We all have to start somewhere. All right. So crew, go out here and start somewhere, even if it's 2 minutes. And if somebody laugh at you or pick on you, girl, you only did 2 minutes. And I'm going to look at them. Okay, what you did? Okay. Or what did you start? You started nowhere. All right then. So you ain't no better than me. Boo-boo. But anyway, so, and it says it's better to do less than you hope than to do nothing at all. That's same as what I always say. It's better to do something than to do nothing at all. All right. So that was chapter 13, how to stop procrastinating by using the 2-minute rule. Let's get into chapter 14, how to make good habits inevitable, and bad habits impossible. It says here on page 169, it says, sometimes success is less about making good habits easy and more about making bad habits hard. Okay? Make your habits more difficult by creating what psychologists say a commitment device. A commitment device is a choice you make in the present that controls your actions in the future. You can reduce overeating by purchasing food in individual packages rather than bulk sizes. And this made me think, like, because food is so expensive, it's like, okay, if I want to have those bags of chips or whatever it is that I really like, I'm not going to buy them in bulk. And y'all, I'm a Sam's Club lover. But then I'm like, okay, if I'm trying to change my habit, let me go spend the money on this bag of chips. I'll be like, I could get this for extra $2 more. I can get a whole nother case of chips. But it's just like, no, I'm trying to eat better and do this thing. So I'm just going to spend the money on this to force myself not to be able to buy it because it's out the budget. Oh, good, right? So try to set yourself up for success. Don't think it's failure because you're just trying to make it easier for you. You're trying to curate your environment to do better, to be better. And we got to be in that space where we're so sick and tired of being sick and tired that we're willing to do and try these things, these hard habits to make them good habits. All right. Another one, choosing to leave your wallet at home during the week before you weigh in so you can't be tempted to buy fast food. I'm not a big fan of the scale because I'm building muscle and it might look like more than I actually weigh. So I would just say just leaving your cards and things home and maybe just taking the cash that you need. And a lot of you probably say, well, what about emergencies? Come on, like, it ain't too much of an emergency where you're in the city that you can't call a family or friend for help or something. Like, stop coming up with excuses. Just stop. Or at 10 p.m. each night, somebody had the outlet timer cut off the power to the router to force them to go to bed. It's like, all right, the internet off, time to go to bed. You don't have no choice. So this is a good one. Whenever I looking to cut calories, I will ask the waiter to split my meal in a box, half of it go before the meal is even served. If I waited until the meal came out and told myself I'll just eat half, it would never work. I thought this was a really good idea. I tried this with a pasta dish and I was like, just give me half of it. And honestly, y'all, I literally ate it all, but I felt full and satisfied instead of looking at more and being like, okay, I'm going to make myself eat this because I don't want to take it home. So yeah, try that. It says here on page 171, the key is to change the task such that it requires more work to get out of the good habit than to get started on it. If you're excited about the business you want to start, email an entrepreneur you respect and set up a counseling call. When the time comes to act, the only way to bail is to cancel the meeting, which requires effort that may cost money. For me, I just want to be a woman of my word. So I purposely, like even starting the podcast, when I set up the meeting to meet Carla, it was like, I got to show up because one, all I got is my name and I don't want to seem like a person who doesn't show up. And also it costs money. So heck yeah, I'm going to show up because I paid for it. All right. So it's like force yourself to show up for yourself to be better. All right. So that was so good. Those were the key points that I got from chapter 14, how to make good habits inevitable and bad habits impossible. There were so many notes and things, but those were the biggest ones. So definitely check those out. It hits on technology and other things to curate your space for that. And it's just really, really good. All right. We want to be in the business of making those bad habits impossible. And we got to do what we got to do. All right. No excuses. I'm tired of excuses. And I'm saying that because I'm talking to myself. Ooh. All right. Now, another thing that I be tired of people hearing and complaining about. It's like, stop complaining if you ain't got no solutions. And if you don't know the solutions, I feel when it comes to your life, therapy is the business. And just try it. You don't try everything else. And some of y'all don't try everything else, including God, and still need help. And I feel like God bless doctors like therapists to be here for us to use. Okay, you go to a doctor for medicine. There's doctors out there for your mind. So utilize them. I utilize them. Okay. And I don't offer something that I don't use. And BetterHelp is thebomb.com. It's professional therapists available to you at hand. You can schedule this on your phone that you always in. Okay, let's use that phone for good. You can FaceTime. You can just do the call if you don't want to be on the FaceTime. You can text. They have journaling. There's so many opportunities in BetterHelp. You don't like your therapist, change it. It's not hard. I hear people say, well, I'm looking for a black therapist. Okay, they have those too. And you can I actually requested one and they popped up. So you can read about them, your therapist, and pick it on that. And if you ain't gelling with it, you can change it literally. So check it out. You get 10% off your first month of professional therapy. It's betterhelp.com/crewlove. That's betterhelp.com/crewlove. I use it. I have friends that are using it, and you will only be disappointed in therapy as if you're not giving it 100%. Okay. I know some people who have admitted to going to therapy and not telling the therapist everything. And I'm like, well, how do you expect to help? That's like going to a medical doctor. Are you allergic to anything? Well, I don't want to tell me because I don't want to be embarrassed. It's like, no, you have to open up and tell your therapist everything, okay? So they can better help you, all right? It just doesn't, that just makes sense. It's between you and the therapy. They have a fiduciary duty, unless, I think it's like, unless it's suicidal or something like that, but they have a fiduciary duty to keep that to them and be there to help you. And from my experience for BetterHelp, every therapist that I've had, it may have not been the best chemistry wise, but their intentions was to help. So check it out. The link will be in the show notes. That's betterhelp.com/crewlove. All right. So let's get into the challenge of the week. And I told y'all, I gave y'all a hint in the beginning. The challenge of the week is surrounded by the 2-minute rule. Try it. 2-minute rule, page 162. Y'all, it's like, if you really want something, you're going to do it. You're going to try. We make every effort to do everything else. Buy concert tickets, travel to see people who don't even really want you. You do everything else. Try to be part of groups that really don't want you to succeed, but you're not willing to try things to do something. If you're like 2 minutes, that's a waste of time, then putting effort into your future gonna be a waste of time. Like, stop with the excuses. So the challenge of the week is to do the 2-minute rule. Find something that you want to do but has been daunting, or whatever it is, and just do it for 2 minutes. Like I said before, read the book for 2 minutes. I did the folding laundry for 2 minutes. You might want to run 6 miles, but you're not just going to get to the marathon. You got to start with the walk. If it takes 2 minutes to put your shoes on and that's all you got, okay, do that every day until you look at yourself like, really, girl, you ain't finna go for this walk? And if you feel like it's daunting, set the timer, do it until the timer go off. Commit to yourself. But yes, the challenge of the week is be a 2-minute person this week. I don't want no 2-minute man. This week, I want you to be 2 minutes. Okay? I want you to dedicate 2 minutes to something that you may find daunting, but I need you to dedicate that 2 minutes to a good habit. All right? All right. So that was the challenge of the week. Give me your 2 minutes to change the trajectory of your bad habits into good habits. All right, crew? All right. Now let's get into what would the crew do. And this was good. What would the crew do? Ask advice. It says, this was DM to me. And that's how you can reach out for the crew. You can DM or you can email the crew book club at gmail.com, or you can DM them on Instagram at the crew book club. I'm also on Fanbase and TikTok as well as the crew book club. All right. It says, I opened a business with my partner in 2020 and now I want out of the relationship. Excuse me. But I want to continue to work with him as a business partner only. Since opening the business, that is all we talk about and do together. What should I do? Okay. I feel, is there more? If y'all could be a little bit more detailed. I'm assuming it's the fact that you guys opened the business. I'm assuming it's successful because it started in 2020 and we're in 2022. So I'm assuming it's successful. And now you feel like that's all it is the business. But it's obviously good because you want to continue to work with him. I think this is communication. It's like, have you communicated what is needed? Ooh. Have you set boundaries? When we're here, this is what we talk about. Have you curated an environment? And if you work from home, maybe you say there's a designated room when we only talk about business. And if we're at the dinner table or watching a movie and business come up, be like, okay, do we need to get up and go to the room and talk about it? Because maybe it's not that important. It can wait. I recommend making sure you set boundaries. I don't think, and I don't know you or what else is going on in the relationship, but before you walk away because of that, put some boundaries in place. Designate a space where you guys only talk about business in a time. Another thing is go to therapy. If you're scared and don't know how to say it, I don't say you should be scared to express yourself in your relationship. But if there's some other things, going to couples therapy to be able to communicate and have someone guide you through that would be great. BetterHelp.com/crewlove. You could do that virtually together in the same space. But I don't think it's just like an automatic breakup, because to break up for that this seems like something you can work through. So try that first. Set the boundaries, express to him how you feel, communicate that, and go from there. So that would be my advice. Cause it's hard out here in these streets. And if you're in a relationship with him and y'all have a good relationship beyond that, and that's the only thing, set the boundaries in place, communicate, and give him an opportunity to fix it. All right. But if you're done, you're done. Nothing you can do about it. But if that's the only thing from what you sent, try setting the boundaries first before walking away. So that's what I would do. Let me know how that goes. If it's more to the story, you can go ahead and DM and we can continue the conversation. All right. Now, I can't let y'all leave without the quote of the week. The quote of the week comes from our author, James Clear, page 158. Redesign your life so the actions that matter most are also the actions that are the easiest to do. Thank you, crew, for tuning in. Now I need y'all to go out and redesign your habits so you can redesign your life. I love y'all, and I will talk to y'all later. Hey! Want to be a part of the crew? Hit that follow button so you'll never miss an episode. And while you're at it, I would appreciate you showing crew love by rating the show on iTunes and Spotify. Don't keep all this goodness to yourself. Share and tell a friend so your whole crew can be growing with you. Let me be the first to tell you, welcome to the crew.